That's right. A prayer rally was held for Nolan, who would have turned 19 years old Wednesday, as calls for answers in the case continue to grow.
August 19th should have been a day of celebration for the Wells family. It should have been Nolan Wells' 19th birthday. There should have been cake, candles, family laughter, and memories made together. Instead, his family gathered to remember him. Nolan died on July 4th during a boating trip near Horn Island. Nearly 7 weeks later, his family is still searching for answers. On August 19th, they gathered at Greater St. John Church in Biloxi. It was a public prayer rally and celebration of Nolan's life. Civil rights attorney Ben Crump joined the family. The knockup was also involved. But despite the celebration, the pain was impossible to hide. This was a birthday without the person everyone came to celebrate.
His life was cut short as a relatively young man. But his name remains etched on buildings and churches and streets all over the world.
If you are new here, please subscribe because we'll be bringing you new updates and developments on this case. You can also type "Happy Birthday Nolan" in the comments section. For Nolan's mother, Christine, the reality was heartbreaking. She spoke about something most families take for granted: being able to FaceTime her son, hearing his voice, seeing his face, and singing him her familiar birthday song. Those simple moments suddenly became priceless, because now they only exist in her memories. And that is one of the cruelest parts of unexpected loss.
The question, what happened? The response is we're still gathering information. We're waiting on toxicology, waiting on the grand jury. Am I my brother's keeper? That's the question underneath every delayed subpoena, every sealed file, every complaint filed against a grieving mother's nursing license.
Sometimes, it is not the big moments you miss most. It is the little things. A phone call, a joke, a text message, a birthday greeting. For Christine, those moments are gone. Standing beside her was Nolan's father, Elmore, and his pain was just as difficult to watch. He spoke about Nolan's childhood memories, the wrestling matches, the playful moments around the house, and chasing Nolan around the living room. Those moments once seemed completely ordinary. Now they are priceless memories, because there will never be new ones. During the vigil, the crowd joined together. They sang "Happy Birthday" to Nolan. Happy birthday, happy birthday, happy birthday, one final time. But Nolan was not there to hear them, and for a parent, that reality can be impossible to understand. There is something deeply instinctive about protecting your children. Parents spend years worrying about the dangers around them. They teach their children to be careful. They try to prepare them for the world. But eventually, every parent faces something terrifying. They cannot protect their child from everything. For Elmore, that reality appears especially painful. Because whatever happened to Nolan cannot be undone. No conversation can change it. No warning can be given. No decision can be reversed. And perhaps the hardest part is this: the family still does not know exactly what happened. What happened during Nolan's final hours? What happened on that July 4th trip? And how did a 19-year-old end up dead? Those questions now sit at the center of this case. According to reports, Nolan was near Horn Island with several other people. At some point, the circumstances surrounding the group changed. One explanation says Nolan was left on the island. The others reportedly went to speak with a girl. That explanation has raised serious questions. Nolan's family wants to know exactly what happened. They want to know who was where. They want to know what Nolan was doing. They want to know what conversations took place. Most importantly, they want to know what happened before Nolan died. That is where his cell phone becomes extremely important, according to his family. His mother eventually recovered the phone. She had tracked it to a friend's location. What she reportedly found raised even more questions. The family says important messages and videos were missing. Some Snapchat content was reportedly deleted. Messages from the night of July 4th were also reportedly gone. That immediately raised one major question. Can that information be recovered? And if it can, what could it reveal? That question has now become part of the legal fight. Ben Crump's legal team has reportedly demanded information from several technology companies. Those companies include Snapchat, WhatsApp, TikTok, Meta, and Life360. The goal is to find information that may no longer appear on the phone. That could include old account names. It could include records showing where activity came from. It could include messages that were previously deleted. It could also reveal activity surrounding Nolan's final hours. But there is an important point to remember. A legal demand does not prove someone committed a crime. Deleted messages do not automatically prove someone was hiding something. There can be many reasons digital information disappears. That is why investigators need evidence. They need to determine what happened, instead of simply believing what people suspect. The cell phone itself has also become a major focus. According to the family, a detailed examination of the phone has been proposed. The family wants independent experts involved. They want the process carefully documented. They want to know exactly how the phone is handled. They also want to make sure important information is not lost. The proposed examination window reportedly runs from August 18th through August 21st. If the examination happens, it could uncover information that is no longer visible. That could become extremely important. Digital information can sometimes help rebuild a timeline. A message can show when someone communicated. A location record can show where a phone was. An application can reveal activity. Even deleted information can sometimes be recovered. None of that automatically explains what happened, but together, those pieces can help investigators rebuild the night. And in this case, the timeline could be everything, at the same time. The local investigation is facing growing public pressure. Jackson County District Attorney Angel McIlrath has warned the public. She urged people to be careful with information shared online.
As District Attorney for the 19th Circuit Court District of Mississippi, I want to talk directly to the people of Jackson County. Our community is grieving the tremendous loss of Nolan Wells, who is loved and treasured by everyone. Nolan's family deserves answers, and our community deserves answers. Every death in the county, except those of natural causes and non-criminal car wrecks, are presented to your grand jury. Many people don't know that. We have handled death investigations in this manner.
That warning matters. Because this case has exploded across social media. People are sharing theories. People are examining photographs. People are discussing witness statements. People are creating their own timelines. But online information can spread incredibly fast. Sometimes, it spreads before anyone confirms whether it is true. The district attorney has also explained her position. She says prosecutors cannot speak publicly, like private citizens can. That is an important difference. Anyone online can speculate. Prosecutors have legal responsibilities. Investigators also have information they cannot publicly reveal. Some details may need to remain private, especially while an investigation is still active. According to the district attorney's office, the state's autopsy report will remain private. The investigation is also expected to go before a grand jury. That does not automatically mean someone will be charged. It is part of the process used to examine serious unexplained deaths. For Nolan's family, waiting for that process is incredibly difficult. Because while officials continue investigating, his parents have to live with the loss. Every morning, every night, every family gathering, there is another reminder that Nolan is gone. And that is why the family's own examination of his body matters. Their findings have raised questions about how Nolan died. The family has challenged the idea of an accidental drowning. They have pointed to Nolan's physical condition. They have described him as a strong swimmer. They believe his death deserves much closer examination. But suspicion is not the same as proof. Strong swimmers can still drown. Water conditions can change without warning. People can become exhausted. They can become injured. They can panic. And unexpected medical problems can happen. So the real question is not simply whether Nolan could swim. The question is, what does the evidence show? That is where the medical examination becomes important. One major question involves Nolan's condition before entering the water. Was he conscious? Was he struggling? Was he injured? Was something else happening before he entered the water? These questions could change how investigators understand his final moments, but they require evidence. They cannot be answered by speculation alone. And now, another major development has entered the case. The Congressional Black Caucus has reportedly requested FBI involvement. That would bring another level of investigation into the case. The request represents a major escalation. The family wants independent attention on Nolan's death. They want investigators to follow the evidence wherever it leads. But again, a request for FBI involvement does not prove a crime occurred. It means people connected to Nolan want another investigation. For his parents, this has never simply been about headlines. They want to understand what happened to their son. People who knew Nolan have described him warmly. His parents called him a bright presence, a peacemaker, someone who disliked bullying, someone who wanted people to feel included. And that makes his death even harder to understand. Nolan was only 19 years old. He was supposed to be thinking about his future. He was supposed to make plans. He was supposed to grow older. He was supposed to celebrate many more birthdays. Instead, his family gathered at a church to remember him. And now, they are asking one simple question. What really happened? Not what people online believe happened. Not what rumors say happened. Not what someone thinks happened. What does the evidence actually show? That distinction matters, because every new detail can change the picture. The deleted messages matter, if they can be recovered. The cell phone matters if it contains useful information. The boat's movements matter if they establish a clear timeline. The witness accounts matter if they can be verified. The medical findings matter if they explain Nolan's death. And the grand jury process could determine what happens next. All these pieces need to fit together. Right now, they have not produced the complete answer. And that is why the coming days could be important. The cell phone examination could reveal new information. Technology companies could have records that are no longer visible. Investigators could discover additional evidence. Witnesses could provide new information. Federal authorities could potentially become involved. But there is another danger, the danger of speculation becoming accepted as fact. Nolan's family deserves answers, but the truth deserves careful investigation too. Every claim needs to be tested. Every timeline needs to be checked. Every witness account needs to be examined. Every piece of digital evidence needs to be verified. And every medical conclusion must be supported by facts. Because if Nolan's death was an accident, his family deserves to know. If someone contributed to his death, his family deserves to know that too. And if investigators still cannot answer those questions, then the search must continue. For Christine and Elmore, there is no simply moving on. August 19th came and went. Another birthday passed without Nolan. Another birthday without his mother calling him. Another birthday without his father watching him laugh. Another birthday without Nolan celebrating with his family. Instead, his loved ones celebrated his memory. And somewhere inside that grief, there is a demand that cannot be ignored. They want the truth, not a rumor, not a theory, not an explanation filled with unanswered questions. They want the truth. Nolan Wells was 19 years old. His future was supposed to be just beginning. But everything changed during that July 4th trip. Now, his cell phone is being examined. His digital history is being investigated. His final timeline is being questioned. His death remains under investigation, and his family continues pushing for answers. But until the evidence is fully examined, important questions will remain. What happened to Nolan Wells? How did he end up in the water? What happened during those final hours? And what can the missing digital information tell investigators? Those questions remain unanswered. But the search for answers is not over. For Nolan's parents, this is not just another investigation. It is their son's life. It is their family's future without him. It is every birthday that will now feel different. It is every 4th of July that will carry another memory. And it is the painful wait for answers. Nolan was not just a headline. He was not just a name on social media. He was someone's son, someone's friend, someone's teammate. Someone who made people laugh. Someone who had dreams for the future. He should have been celebrating his 19th birthday. Instead, his family gathered to celebrate the life he left behind. And now, the biggest question remains: what really happened to Nolan Wells? The answer will not come from rumors. It will not come from social media arguments. And it will not come from whoever speaks the loudest. It has to come from evidence, from careful investigation, from verified records, from credible testimony, and from the facts. Until then, Nolan's family is left waiting. Waiting for forensic results, waiting for phone records, waiting for answers about his final hours, and waiting for someone to explain what happened, because a 19-year-old went on a holiday boating trip and never came home. Happy heavenly birthday, Nolan. You should still be here. And for everyone who loved you, the search for answers continues. Justice for Nolan Wells.